According to a Greensboro Patriot newspaper article published on June 22nd, 1922, a group of black residents living in the southeast area of Greensboro, North Carolina, gathered to protest a decision by the city council to use approximately 10 acres of land in their neighborhood to dump and burn toxic waste. Many of those working to prevent the placement of this landfill had lived in the neighborhood for years and owned property in the area. We imagined that they could foresee the devastation this landfill may bring. In fact, this area had a proud history of decades of African American home ownership, strong neighborhood associations, vibrant churches, and upward economic mobility. The area once bustled with shops and business professionals from the 1950s and the 1960s to the early 70s. Moreover, Dr. William M. Hampton founded Hampton Elementary, a school at the heart of the community. Unfortunately, the school is now closed due to the devastating tornado that hit the area in 2018, tearing off sections of its roof and leading the school board to declare that the school could not be reopened. After the mid 1970s, the main street, Cottage Grove Avenue, was renamed South English Street and became a cut through street. This change cut the neighborhood out of major investment and economic development, most critically seen in housing, education, and income. Almost three-fourths of the residents rent their homes, and a vast majority of these renters, 69%, pay over 30% of their income for housing. Although the placement of this landfill occurred before state and federal environmental regulations, laws were in place known as pre regulatory landfills. This event was no accident. Racism, racial residential segregation, and Jim Crow laws were all in effect at the time, leaving this community vulnerable to these external forces and the placement of this landfill. Over the years, the state has conducted several studies of the park area and found the presence of nine metals at concentrations greater than the North Carolina preliminary soil remediation goals. The levels of lead found in the soil exceeded safe levels of the hazard index for non carcinogenic risks and were above EPA and NCDEQ limits. Moreover, a tree analysis showed that of 61 trees in the park, 37 have been recommended for removal. Today, residents are working alongside community and city leaders, as well as researchers, to build evidence and support action to remediate the park. Using environmental justice as the guiding principle, this collaborative effort focused on policies and broader systems that created the environmental inequities. We are centering community voices in this process to ensure that those most impacted by this type of environmental harm define how and what this park should look like for the future generations to come.